areas of pharmaceutical market, such as logistics, marketing, translation, regulation. Thus, we have two logistic companies, as Biosan Logistic, you can see, which is located in the Slovak Republic, and Concordia, which is located in Georgia. In the marketing area, we have four companies. Sperka is a large Ukrainian manufacturer and has OTC production and pediatric drugs in its range. Next farm is a marketing company that specializes in ophthalmological products, located in Austria. Kupfer is a marketing company located in Republic of Lithuania. And whose activity is in the field gastroenterology. And the company Farmliga, which is engaged in marketing and promotion of products from such groups like psychiatry, neurology, gynecology, dermatology, and budget sales. Also, we have our own translation company, Translate Innova, you can see, which provides translation services in pharmaceutical, medical, and in other topics. Carries out both oral and written translations from more than 50 languages. And in the registration area, we have two companies, Biosense Ukraine, which provides registration and pharmacovigilance services, both for our own companies and for our partners on an outsourcing basis. And finally, Bioscience Innova, on the platform of which we have now met with you at this session. Bioscience Innova is education platform with international team of professionals with rich, successful, practical experience. We involve the best experts on the field from different countries. Our main directions is pharmacovigilance, registration, GMP certification, clinical researches. And our mission, we train a culture of safe use of medicine through a universal approach, education specialists of different skill levels. What we do? We study market problems, determine the importance, and involve the best experts with whom we then organize any education programs in the form of webinars, courses, and so on. Our main advantages: up-to-date and competent materials, expert teachers and leading schools, interactivity and practice, learning at distance or remotely education, support and community in our channels. Why choose us? Because we can provide professional development, practical experience, this is very important, network of contacts, and of course certification after every education event. We have two offices located in Republic of Austria, the first, and the second in Ukraine. So today we have interaction pharmacovigilance session, and I am happy to introduce you to Galina Cardera. Galina Cardera is recognized expert and educator in the field of drug safety and pharmacovigilance. She holds the position of head the pharmacovigilance department for a large pharmaceutical company, Pharmac. She holds the position like QPPV. Her extensive experience in the field allows her to conduct numerous webinars and workshops focusing in the intricacies of pharmacovigilance, particularly in regulatory sphere also, risk management, signal detection, and the development of robust safety monitoring systems. As a lecturer and mentor, Dr. Cardera actively participants in international forums, congresses, conferences, presenting on current trends in pharmacovigilance, crisis management in drug safety, and effective risk-benefit assessment strategies. So today, Galina and we will discuss key takeaways from previous webinars, answer your questions, and share how you can deepen your knowledge with our paid training programs. So, Galina, nice to see you, and you have the floor. So we are listening you about pharmacovigilance topic and actuality of this topic also.
Good morning, dear colleagues. I am very happy today talk about pharmacovigilance because pharmacovigilance is now so huge and actual topic and related for drug safety problems. And what I can say about it, for example, from my experience from Amsterdam, that now more accent they are making on proactive risk management, management of incidents, because, for example, there reflected problems with Indian syrups from Koch and why it's happened, still a relation nitrazamines and safety of products, it's like metformin and different one. Another accent where I was attended as a participant of session, it was education, very important now, organize education, not just for pharmaceutical industry, but for medical doctors, because so many medication errors you can find, and while you will not find reason of it, you will not find answer how to create risk minimization measures and how manage it in futures. What will be important in our session, we will talk about three topics is basic course of pharmacovigilance, because, for example, in Ukraine legislation now it's new profession, and coding projects which will be now implemented in legislation to every hospital, pharmacy should will have specialists from pharmacovigilance, and it's dictate requirements and qualification for this person. Plus will be organized and by Science Nova working on this topic too. It's specific courses for medical students because now I think exists some misunderstanding between pharmacovigilance, drug safety, and clinical pharmacology, and many medical students now don't understand what this means, drug safety. Parallel, we working and very soon you will see our products. It's books by Science Nova as a partner will show this product very soon. You can order it too. It's a topic for every webinar, for example, basic course plus a book, another topics, it will pharmacovigilance quality management system, and a book, and another one practical guide of pharmacovigilance, and a book. Will be very interesting projects, clinical aspects of pharmacovigilance. and I'm now working on this book, and I see so many problems which are very important in this topic. Concerning on proactive pharmacovigilance, risk management, and qualification of QPPV, you can find that QPPV now should have not just clinical pharmacology knowledge, toxicology knowledge, but and crisis management knowledge, and we will talk about it today too. What are very important that next year we already are planned, and you can find our scheduled webinars. You can register it on these webinars, and we will start next year from practical GITO pharmacovigilance. Today we will talk about main interesting problems from pharmacovigilance, crisis management, and what should know QPPV, its main issues concerning on QPPV, and taking into account global pharmacovigilance system, because, for example, and it was reflected too on Amsterdam Congress that, for example, regulatory authority from Kazakhstan requested a European QPPV, but European QPPV just responsible for European markets, not just for all markets. It's why it should be global manager of pharmacovigilance, person who connect all markets and manage these topics too. I will be very thankful for your question today. I prepared a question which, and I'm very thankful we received from your side. And Svetlana will today manage this event too.
Marina,
Svetlana.
thank you so much. We will discuss about every questions from our participants. Galin, can I ask you? You have conducted numerous trainings session on pharmacovigilance. In your opinion, which topics spark the most interest among participants? You said about basic course of pharmacovigilance, maybe something else.
Yes, many topics are very interesting for our participants. It's which one in practical field. For example, first of all, basic rules are necessary for professionals who just in beginning of career. Why? Because, for example, causality questions, it's needed specific knowledge and from medicine, how differentiate symptoms, its symptoms or sign of main disease or comorbidity of drugs which patient already taken. Another one is understanding the scales, for example, World Health Organization scales for detection causality, or for example, Naranjo is most important, but it's not all, because many, for example, medication errors can be happen, off-label use problems, or for example, interaction and drug-drug interaction, drug-food interaction, for example, doxycycline and milk drug-food interaction. Interesting topics, why Indians population has so many anemia. T and tannins interacts with ferrum, and it's why it's blocked, and insufficiency of ferrum in Indian population, ferrum deficiency, anemia. Or for example, interaction metformin and B12 vitamins. It's why in patient it's problems now. Beta 12 anemia in patients with diabetes mellitus. Or, for example, blockade proton pump and hypomagnemia. Or, for example, specific quality of drugs, for example, amiodarone and problems with thyroid glandular. It's a problem too. Why? Because this drug contain iodine. Or, for example, timeline of appearing these adverse events. Majority participants, majority our audience asking that about adverse events or adverse reaction which happen right now after administration of drugs, but it's not enough because some adverse events can take place afterwards, much later, and it's very important too. For example, gadolinium contain contrast, and nephropathy can happen after 1 year after administration of this diagnostic drug. It's very important. Concerning on quality, it's quality system, pharmacovigilance quality system, many questions, and it will be reflected in our webinars. It's how detect QPI for pharmacovigilance system. What this mean? For example, which criteria should be included in master file and will characterize efficacy of pharmacovigilance system. It's important because auditors and inspectors paid attention on this indicator and decided where will be a weak place on system. Another question I received, and thank you, dear participants, with this question concerning how account FTA and how decide what should be more important to use and to choose. It will be own staff or it's a provider of service. Why it's important? Because we see how some company has huge growing in this difficult time, and COVID-19 showed it. And yesterday, for example, I met interesting article that DNA from COVID virus still staying in organs of patients, and I think it will be a huge scandal of it too, because still organism of patient synthesize this protein. It's big problems. You know why it's important? Because you still should remember that beside of pharmacovigilance systems, you should have device system if you have devices, and interaction between this system. Plus, interesting question I received in LinkedIn. It's eco-vigilance, it's cosmetic vigilance. It means that not just pharmacovigilance and drug safety, and where to get this knowledge. It's why we decided to make specific course with different formats. What this means? It means that not just webinars with theoretical knowledge, but it will be included different formats like practical master classes. And what make sense, it's not just why not just theoretical, because how to write document and make assessment or make mistakes of writing this document. And concerning the quality management system, what can be interesting, it's discussed main documents, because main mistakes from companies, it's hurry up and to write standard operation procedures without staff, without resources of personnel, and without tools. It's why very detailed I'm describe it in my electronic books together with partner by Science Innova. In these books, these necessary tools for pharmacovigilance activities, plus very important how implemented. And concerning on provider services, should be very detailed described in agreement. What this mean? It means that beside of master service agreement should be technical agreement, it should be safety data exchange agreement. Concerning safety data exchange agreement, I received many questions too, and I think it will be separate master class concerning all the safety data exchange agreement, because safety data exchange agreement can be between two or in many sites. For example, it can be in 3 even marketing authorization holder, in case when marketing one products can be managing three by three marketing stakeholder. It will be interaction marketing stakeholders and manufacturers, and different story. And for example, from my experience, when manufacturer, you are manufacturer, another site, it can be marketing stakeholder. Sometimes another marketing stakeholder would like to get not just reconciliation information concerning safety data dates, but and documents, and even ability to entrance of database. But still you should remember that exactly and precisely marketing authorization holder has responsibility and carry out responsibility of this pharmacovigilance system. It's very important. It's why it will be, and we will be thankful if you will register, because I'm prepare very interesting webinar concerning on this topic. It's pharmacovigilance system, its processes, because first of all, very important to detect processes, then don't hurry up it to assess, do you have as a marketing authorization holders enough personnel, resources, tools for making this process, because standard operation procedure cannot be just describing. It should be really to make and to do from step to step according to your standard operation procedure, do your audits and do your inspection when it will can happen. It's why describing a master service agreement and policies of your company in pharmacovigilance. Many questions I receiving concerning on quality plan of pharmacovigilance system. It's part of quality assurance of system, and very important to understand what kind of model you implemented in your company, because there are several models of pharmacovigilance system, and you cannot be just satellite, and your system cannot be just separate from all pharmacovigilance management quality system. Why? Because in this way you cannot use general standard operation procedures and it's general, for example, like procedures of education, staff in your company, auditing, inspection, preparation for it. It's important. Why I am detailed, paid attention to it, because I received many questions, and we will repeat this topic in next year because of huge interest to this topic. And another topics, practical guide for pharmacovigilance, and what I will even, and I now say for Svetlana, I will include more case studies, and because many questions lay down in practical field, and we prepared these materials. For example, case studies for causality assessment studies, if we're talking about basic course. If we're talking quality, it's every topic will be reflected in practical tasks, in practical case studies with described. Concerning on practical guide of pharmacovigilance, it will be next short electronic book, and plus including additional case studies. For example, many questions I receiving concerning on knowledge, qualification, and skill required for QPPV. In LinkedIn, I receiving many questions concerning on I would like to become a QPP, what I should to do. We invite you in these webinars. It's not enough just to know a good pharmacovigilance practice. You should have and project management knowledge, and crisis management knowledge, and knowledge of statistical, because clinical research organization, interest question from them, is huge company, but still and some even now paid attention that they for clinical research management, they invited person without specific education, and they meet situation when, for example, when they check how investigators fill out forms for adverse reaction, they cannot understand it's correct or not correct. It is should to answer right now in this meeting in investigation. Plus, interesting question pharmacovigilance. It will be topic 2 in next year, pharmacovigilance in clinical trials, because little bit different approach for assessment adverse reaction. For example, in healthy volunteers, it's first phase of clinical trials. It can be bioequivalence or first phase of clinical trials. Which case studies we can be discussing, and I will be thankful for your question today. For example, managing complex signals. Because what we see, and I paid attention that it's very important to collect pharmaceutical anamnesis from patient, and it can be not just adverse reaction from one drug, it can be drug interactions, can be symptoms of, as I said previously, main disease, it can be comorbidity, and it's why in your staff in your company should be pharmacovigilance physician with medical education, or each person can be working in contract. Very many questions concerning on QPPV, pharmacovigilance, intelligence, and relation between local PV, because many audits, for example, from territory of this country, for them is very important to realize how interact and how manage QPPV of system. It's very important. And for global system, for example, if it's global system has offices in Europe, United States, Pacific region, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, or different countries, how it's related and how it's managed, because in this situation, and you should take into account too that there are in different population drugs working different, taking into account genetic polymorphism. And what we see, it can be different pharmacokinetic, for example, East population, or it's like Korean, Kazakhstan population, and for example, different activity of renin system in Black population, comparing with Caucasian population. And this knowledge you can find in our specific webinars concerning drug safety in electronic books, clinical aspects of pharmacovigilance. And concerning on risk management and products recalls, many questions are received, and it's very important too. It's interaction between QPPV and quality person or in quality. And it means it showed how important it's too, because quality system and defects of systems can be cause of adverse reaction, and it can be reason of recall. And QPPV should have specific knowledge how analyze risk, making assessment, randomize risks, and make assume how this risk influence on patient and population, human population in full. It's very important too. Signal management, many questions too I received concerning on, for example, we are not very big company, but we have several cases, and we think its signal help for us and what to do with it, because our database included not many cases. What to do with it? It's not quality, it's not quantity of method. You should to make it using quality methods. It will be reflected in our signal management too. Svetlana, do you have specific question from our participants? Maybe we can ask in our participants today what for them can be interesting too.
Thank you so much, Galina. I would like to add, dear colleagues, we have scheduled an updated and practical webinar, like a basic course of pharmacovigilance and pharmacovigilance systems, quality systems, as Galina said. Please check the chat now. And find a registration form link for these webinars. Please note it's like a gift from Bioscience Innova for all participants for today's session. We provide 50% discount if you pay today. So register, reserve your place, please. Galina, thank you so much for these topics. We have now one question from our participants. I will read. How can someone move from basic understanding to an expert level in this field? I think the field of pharmacovigilance, it means. What is your answer or your opinion or your advice, maybe?
From my experience, I will say that first of all, don't afraid problems. Yes, it's good to get knowledge and to see mistakes and errors from different another QPPV. It's why I reflected it in our electronic books and in our webinar. Why it's important? Because every situation can be individual, and your knowledge you should to use in concrete situation. For example, from my experience, I met situation when diagnosed drugs make adverse reactions. It's either night contrast drugs for investigation. And what I met that medical doctors don't realize that diagnostic drug can be a reason of adverse reaction. And I met many adverse reaction because of it. It's because these drugs can be cause of vasospasm, it's endothelial dysfunction, a reason of it, and main reason is dehydration. And it was very difficult to pass this way to show it for medical doctors what to do. It's very simple. It's hydration of medical doctors, and it's what concerning local PV, concerning on this question. You should understand local legislation. For example, difference, comparing, for example, European Union and Ukraine, different republics, Eurasian Union, Pacific region. Every region can have specific. For example, if we were talking about European Union question, it can be reason of different even conducting and manage master file. It's a different format of documents like risk management plans. And now who register national procedure is good, but who register in Eurasian procedures, all documents should be updated concerning on requirement of it. Plus, to see what how changed legislation. For example, Uzbekistan, now Republic of Uzbekistan, updated legislation too. You can find on regulatory authority of Uzbekistan how it's changed. It's a national language, but you can use by Sans and Nova, and they will help for translate it. It's 128 pages of new legislation. It's important too. Concerning on Japan and Pacific region, they have specific legislation too. United States, for example, have different format of risk minimization plan, and it's more concrete information and different little bit approach. It's why very important that your local PV to get enough knowledge and should have local. Many questions I receive which processes should be implemented in local level. It should be first of all it's how you collect information, safety information, and reporting in a regulatory authority. But for reporting, very important that local PV should have access. Yes, it's reading only, but should to see what kind of information now in database concern case, which local PV already provided for global PV. And database should have ability to provide information XML format. Now, concerning on tools databases, if I am talking about it, there are many providers. Yes, you know, for example, Iris Global, Oracle, but there are many, another one, for example, it can be Viva, it can be company Hello, it can be company Enov, it can be company Quia. It's different company with different approaches, and what you should do before you make decision, what kind of database you should have. You should write user requirement specification with strict requirement for this database. It means that you should understand and should know ICH to R3 requirement for databases. It's why I all time will repeat that improve your knowledge every day and don't stop, because when you will stop, it will be way for your degradation. And QPPV, every pharmacovigilance specialist, has no right for it. And I would say that we are happy as pharmacovigilance specialists, because it's more than work, it's our hobby, because every day you can meet new information, and it can be reason of your knowledge, but it can be reason of incidents. You should be ready to manage these incidents, to understand how to do it. You should have deep academic knowledge of clinical pharmacology, clinical pharmacovigilance, as drug safety knowledge, toxic knowledge, statistic knowledge, but it's not enough. Its case skills for QPV should have leadership and management, analytical thinking, communication, very important to have ability to conduct negotiation, crisis management, project management. It's very important too. Concerning on medication errors in specific pediatric patients, I received this question too. You should understand that children is not young adults. They have specific pharmacokinetics. It can be reflected on different pharmacodynamics, is specific knowledge too. Many drugs and QT prolongation risk management. Yes, QT prolongation can be reason even of withdrawal of market, and we have experience when Fenspirit was withdrawn from market because of QT prolongation in stage of non-clinical investigation in 5 animal. You should know it too. Concerning on periodic safety of data report and assessment, benefit, risk. It's important to how question how, for example, how to choose correct methodology, because there are diagnostic drugs and different approach, chronic disease when you see problems, for example, ulcerative disease, it's springs and autumn, and how we use it. It's why, again, and from my experience in my department, I have just medical doctors, and I'm happy with it because I'm speaking in one language. If you, for example, pharmacist, we will prepare for you specific courses too, drug safety for pharmacists too. Concerning on Ukraine, again, we'll say that in governance question, in governance level, Sveta, you hear me?
Yes, yes. And we have a few questions, but we have not a lot of time, Galina.
Sorry.
Unfortunately.
Yes, it's why again I am invite you and by Science Nova as partners. We invite you in our future webinars where you can find additional useful, practical, and theoretical knowledge. Plus, I want that Sveta will say too that beside of webinar seminars, you can find practical knowledge as internship in base of Bioscience Nova, where we can together provide practical skills how it's sent from our hand to your hand.
Halina, thank you so much. Maybe we can answer for another question because we have for now a lot of
You can
questions.
send me in chat because better to see it.
Just we have not time of enough. I will read one question. What strategies can improve collaboration between the KPPV and another department within a company? This is the one question that I think is important. Or what is the best practice for managing the pharmacovigilance system master file, for your opinion? So you can answer.
It's good to question because, for example, audit inspection like to pay attention in interaction between QPFBV and not just medical affairs departments or clinical trials departments, because many weak place what kind of strategy? It's communication. It's conduct meeting. It's to find out, for example, if you find this specific new information which should be reflected in SMPC, QPPV should initiate this process. And it's another step, it should be communicate with medical affairs specialists who will add this information in this SMPC. Then QPPV should check out it's correct or no, and then afterwards prove it, sign up that yes, all information, new information, safety information already implemented in a project of SMP. Then another stage, it's communication with registration and control this process timeline. Very important pharmacovigilance KPI, it's timeline. 90 days, it's already implemented and provided to medical affairs. Medical affairs communicate together with QPP with registration make variation timeline, because if, for example, each step can be make mistakes, it will be common again, come back to QPPV, and QPPV will be responsible that new information not not in time implemented in this SMPC. It can be cause of critical issue of inspection. Another question concerning on best practice in master file. Best practice is remember this master file. It's a live document. It cannot be writing and forgetting. It should be all time checking out. For example, appear a new process, it means that it should be reflected in 5 sections of master file, and to add this process, then it can be reflected in annex. It's a different version of documents. It's, for example, changed tools of database. It should be changed too. It means that you all time time monitor changes of system and QPI indicators. You find out that your, for example, timeline of periodic safety update report is weak place of your system. You conducted education programs, you improved it, it's making more efficacy, changed QPI, you reflected it. It's risk minimization measures too. And it's a big problem for some company. For example, they write a risk management plan, making risk minimization measures and forgetting about it. But it's not enough. You should assess it, and you should assess efficacy of risk minimization measure in next risk management plans, and should reflect it in next risk management plan. Plus, relationship between risk management plans and periodic safety updated report, and not forget about relation between module 2.4 to 5 to 6 to 7, because experience in auditor inspector will find out where you make mistakes. It's why best practice, don't sleep all time, checking and monitor changes in processes all time, make improve of process. Don't wait, for example, auditor and inspector, but when you see a gap of your system, make a CAPA and please correct this problem, because you should understand that your CAPA should include timeline too. For example, if you change it database, you will realize that you will do it for 3 months. It will be huge mistakes because it will take more time, and you should understand when auditor and inspector will come, they will see it too.
Marina, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we have not time anymore. Dear colleagues, our session is coming to an end. As Galina said about ebooks, the first ebook, a basic course of pharmacovigilance, will be available in December. So you can pre-order now by contacting us via email or phone or messaging to any application, WhatsApp, Telegram, Viber. Don't miss this opportunity. This is the first. The second, we sincerely thank you for your participations. As soon as possible, we will send you a recording of this session and your certificate of participations. We hope today's session was insightful and inspiring for you. Galina, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so
From my
much.
side, I'm thankful too, but please ask in question. If you're thinking, you will have a question, and don't afraid make mistakes. Don't afraid. For example, barriers. Some QPPV asking questions, they afraid to make mistakes. Yes, if you want to ask question, you can ask us. We will not make these mistakes. But if you not do nothing, you will not make mistakes. But crisis management, already from my experience, when crisis happen, everybody gets shocked. But you should have a cold mind, sit and assess this situation, because you should remember that QPPV have responsibility for maintenance of pharmacovigilance system, of compliance of pharmacovigilance system. And you should remember that all time patient is first.
Thank you so much, Karina. Dear colleagues, pay attention, please, in our chat. You can find link for questionnaire. We will be very grateful for your answers for these short questions. Your opinion is important for us. This the first, and the second, have a nice day.
And please, all questions you send, you can write this email for you, because for me very difficult now assess all question I'm receiving in LinkedIn, and make maybe next sessions, and I will answer you our next webinars and other our events in future too.
Thank you so much, Karina.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
everyone.
Thank
Yes.
you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.